Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So, as you guys know, throughout the years, since I made my YouTube channel, I've encountered some pretty interesting things, okay? I've encountered people, threatening to delete my channel, yelling at me for posting YouTube videos. I've encountered crazy experiences that I've told stories about. And I've encountered people that just don't like my YouTube videos a whole lot. You know, I have a lot of haters, to say the least. Now, I do have a lot more supporters than I do haters, but, the haters are pretty vocal. And I've told stories about them. But today's story time is about one of my biggest haters ever, and it's someone you wouldn't expect. So I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's get into it. So today's story time all takes place back in the wonderful year 2017. It was freshly 2017. It was January 2017. I believe around this time was when I was starting to get ready to move to LA. I don't think I quite moved there yet, but I was getting ready to. So I was still living in my hometown in New York. And I had just went through a pretty annoying breakup. I remember around this time I was pretty depressed, pretty sad, because me and my girl, who I had been dating for over 6 months, had broken up. And it was enough time to really develop feelings for her. Obviously, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I hadn't been dating her for years and years and years. I wasn't married to her or anything, but it still sucked. I mean, when you get into the routine of seeing somebody every single day and being close to them and talking to them all the time to just not seeing them at all, your brain is hardwired to expect to talk to them. And then you're like, oh shit, I can't talk to them anymore. That sucks. So I was really going through it. I was kind of just sad and depressed every day. Now this all starts off like any other normal day back then. I got up out of bed, like I said, pretty depressed, kind of in a bad mood. And the first thing I did was make a YouTube video, because around this time, that was the best way to get my brain and my mind off of the thought of heartbreak. So I'll just get right to making a YouTube video. And on this day, I told a story that involved my ex-girlfriend. It wasn't about her. I actually don't really have any crazy stories about her because she was very normal. She's not one of those crazy exes that I talk about on this channel. She's not someone that was toxic or crazy. And we had a very pretty good relationship. Our breakup was pretty boring, to be honest. But the story time I told on this day, it did involve her. It was essentially just a story where me and her were out somewhere and we both witnessed something. And yeah, that was it. She literally was just somebody that was in the story because I was with her at the time when it happened. It was not about her or anything. Now let me back up real quick before I go on with this story. So her mom hated me. Forgot to mention that. When I was dating her daughter, she hated me. She just had it out for me. She did not like me at all. She didn't like what I did for a living. She hated my YouTube videos. She hated what I talked about. She hated the fact that I had subscribers on YouTube. She essentially thought that I was a liability. She thought, me hanging out with her daughter was dangerous. She essentially thought that I was lazy and that I took the easy way out and became a YouTuber. When in reality, becoming a YouTuber is not just some easy career path. You can't just wake up one day and be a YouTuber. But yeah, she thought that I was lazy or something, and she thought that it was gonna rub off on her daughter or some shit. So yeah, she hated me and she hated my YouTube channel, and she knew about it. She would keep tabs on it and watch what I was uploading and stuff. And on this day, when I uploaded that video that involved, my ex, aka her daughter, she watched the video. And it took, I shit you not even 20 minutes of the video being up until I got a phone call. My phone starts ringing. I answer it. I'm like, hello. And she goes, Austin? Saw your YouTube video. I don't like that my daughter's in it. And I told her what I tell everybody. I was like, well, she's not in the video. Yeah, she's in the story time that I'm telling, but I didn't give her name out. I didn't give any personal details out. I just said that she was my girlfriend at the time, which was true. And her mom did not care. She was like, I don't care at all. You're talking about my daughter in that video. I know who you're talking about, and so will other people. And I was like, who? Who's gonna know? And she goes, her friends and stuff. And I was like, okay, and why would her friends care if she was mentioned in one of my videos? Her friends knew she was dating me. They know what I do. They know about my videos. Her friends are literally in some of my videos. I've talked about them in stories too. And once again, her mom just didn't care. She was like, I don't care. I want the video down, and so does she. And I was like, oh, she wants it down too? Now this surprised me, because my girl literally would let me make YouTube videos all the time about story times that she was in, and she never cared. She even told me once that I could use her real name. Obviously, I never did, because I wanted to keep her identity safe, and I don't want people knowing who she was. But, she seemed pretty supportive. But when I heard her mom say that, she didn't want this video up, I was like, okay, maybe I do need to take this down. So I told her mom, okay, I'll delete it. Let me go do that. And I hang up with her, right? And I go on YouTube, and I go to delete the video, and just as I'm about to click delete, I get this doubt in my head. I'm like, you know what? Let me just call my ex and see what she thinks, because her mom is a little bit crazy and maybe she's lying. So I called up my ex and she answered almost immediately. And I was like, hey, like, I'm just calling to verify something. Like, your mom just called me and she said that I should delete this video because you're in it. I'm talking about you in the story time. I didn't name your name or anything. It's not about you, but you are, like, you know, a part of it. And your mom called me and wants it deleted, and she said that you wanted it deleted too. Is that true? And my ex goes, what? I didn't even know you made a video today. Like, I didn't watch it. I didn't see it. Like, I had no idea. And no, I don't want it down. I don't care. As long as you're not putting out my full address or like where I live or my name, I don't mind. And I was like, no, none of that's in there. And she's like, yeah, of course it's not because you're smart. And I was like, thank you. And she's like, yeah, I don't know what my mom's talking about. She's crazy. You know she doesn't like your stuff. Just ignore her. Like, block her number. Literally, my own ex, her daughter, was telling me to block her mom's number. And she even said I'm allowed to keep telling stories that she's involved in because it doesn't hurt her or anybody. So yeah, shout out to my ex for being cool, right? So anyway, I took her advice. I blocked her mom because obviously I don't want to deal with her mom anymore now that we're not dating. And her mom is clearly a liar. She told me that my ex wanted that video down and she didn't even know about the video. So yeah, I didn't want to listen to her anymore, so I blocked her. Well, about 30 minutes later, I'm in my room on my computer and I get a knock on my front door. And at this time, I was still living with my mom. So my mom answered the door and she's like, Austin, your girlfriend's mom is here. My mom didn't know that me and my girl broke up yet, so she was still saying my girlfriend. But anyway, I walk out into the kitchen, I go up to where the front door is, I open it, and there's her mom standing on my porch looking very upset. And I was like, hey, how can I help you? And she goes, you know how you can help me. Delete that video. And I was like, yeah, I was gonna. And then I called, you know, your daughter and I asked her like, hey, do you want this video down? Because like your mom is claiming that you don't want it up. And she told me that she didn't even know about the video and that she was completely fine with it. And she was fine with me making videos and essentially said that you lied. So I just felt like I couldn't trust you. So I blocked your number. Feel like, you know, there's no reason for us to keep talking. So yeah, have a good one. And I go to close the door. And she jams her foot in my door and she goes, absolutely not. You will not close this door in my face. Delete that video or I'll see your ass in court. And she proceeds to reach in her purse and then hand me a paper. And then she proceeds to storm off my porch. And my mom's behind me and she's like, what the hell did she just hand you? And I was like, I don't know. Let's see. And I start reading it. And it's a fucking cease and desist. But here's the funny part. It's not a real one. It's not an actual typed cease and desist from like her legal representative or anything, like a lawyer or like an attorney or something. I don't know, right? Like it was something that she typed. She literally put at the bottom that it was typed by her and that like she would sue me if I didn't delete the video. I wish I still had it. I ended up burning it that night in a fire because I just didn't give a fuck. But like essentially it was the most poorly written, most like unprofessional, fake looking cease and desist I've ever seen. And the reason I burned it in a fire that night was because I called my ex on FaceTime after her mom left. And I was like, hey, look what your mom just gave me. And I showed her it like over FaceTime. And she like read some of it. And she was like, oh, that is such bullshit. Like just throw that in the fire. So I did. I threw it in my bonfire that my mom was having. Yeah. Now after this, you're probably wondering what happened. I wish I could say that after that, you know, it was radio silence and her mom never came back. But unfortunately, 2 days later, she came knocking at my front door again, this time a lot more angry. And I answered the door and I was like, can I help you? And she's like, you know what you can help me with. Delete that video. And I was like, okay, let me just ask, what did you think you were going to accomplish with that fake ass cease and desist? And she was like, I want you to delete the video or else I'm going to actually cease and desist you. And I was like, for what? Telling a story time over gameplay on YouTube where I don't name any personal details about your daughter at all? You can't sue me for that. Any actual lawyer would literally laugh at that. No one's going to take your case. And she was like, oh, I have people that will. And I go, okay, well then they're really bad at their job because it's not going to hold up. And she goes, okay, we'll see about that. She turned around and she stormed off my porch again. Now after this, I didn't really hear from her again about being sued or anything because once again, like I said, no one was going to take that case. I wish I could say that that's the end of the story and it had a happy ending, but there's more to it. And I'm going to be telling it tomorrow because it deserves its own video. I know y'all are going to hate me for leaving you on a cliffhanger, but I promise it'll be worth it because tomorrow's story will be a lot longer than this one, and it deserves to have its own video. I don't want to have two different stories in one video because then I won't know what to title this and it'll be confusing because they're two very vastly different topics. But yeah, I can say this. Her mom never sued me because I didn't break the law and I didn't do anything wrong, so obviously she didn't sue me because that just wouldn't work. But she did do something, and I'll talk about that tomorrow. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this part of the story. I hope you're not too mad at me for cliffhanging you. I know I hate doing this, but like I said, it deserves to have its own video. I promise it'll be worth it. It'll be longer too. It'll be longer than 10 minutes. So get ready for a longer video tomorrow. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed this story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace.
Take his 401k and I'll put it on my wrist. Only why to sell my